Well, hello, mi gente. We're gonna do a little something different today. Something I would like to call slow jam. Reason being is that I'm going to go ahead and time myself, see what I can complete in a certain amount of time. Now, I know it might be a little ironic, but the reason why I call it slow jam will be I won't speed anything up. So you get to see within this kooky little mind of mine how I go about things. Also, too, I will be quote-unquote live commentating on it, so forgive me if I get a little quiet. I may just be really concentrating, but no worries, I'll add some music in post. Now, what we're looking at right here, I would like you to direct your eyes to this bottom left here. And today I am using the program called Snap Timer, nifty little app that you can go ahead and download. Helps you time yourself, obviously, but it has a whole bunch of neat little things you can customize. So let's see what I can do within 25 minutes. Now, the reason why I say 25 because it's only just the Franqie's pretty little mug here. So we'll see what we can do. It's a little test on how efficient I can be with my techniques, as well as just trying to get to the goal of being quick, yet being good at the same time. So come along with me on this journey. For those who don't know, I am Nelson V. Carrasquillo, aka the Justifiable one. Okay, so no one really calls me that, but your fingers crossed that it'll actually catch on, huh? Put your eyes over here to my little tool presets. Today we're going to be working pretty much exclusively with the painterly brush. Now, for those wondering what my tool presets are, what they have to do, and how the hell I got it, well, I'll save that for a video next time. Sound good? Let me know in the comments down below. If I don't hear nothing, and I assume no one wants to know, let's go ahead and do this thing. Okay, got my swatches. Let's start it up. Doing a little bit different here. Normally I show you guys my masking tool technique, or the quick mask tool technique I should say, but today let's go for a little more of a traditional style approach, where I'll be using my lovely painterly brush here. I'm just going in, doing my thing. Now, I normally like to keep it at the brush options, opacity at 88, flow at 88. Seems to be a good mix between having something chunky and quick versus quick mixing. But you probably will see me switch between this setting as well as the other ones, where it goes about what I got there, 60-30. And if I'm feeling froggy, I might go even less, or on the opacity there, and lesser on the flow. We'll see. So, a little backstory on the young lass you see in front of you here. Her name, Franqui Shore. Her mission, to keep me drawn. She is my creator-owned character, and soon she will have her adventure put out into the world. My current aspirations are to actually have a animated show one of these years featuring her. But for now, in my current state, what I will be doing is a webcomic. Currently I'm working on what is that, third, perhaps, iteration of her story. Previously, I had put out a couple of strips. That was her second iteration, story-wise. And I wasn't feeling it. You know, for some reason, she seems like a character I really wanted to push, so if you go to my website there, which is currently just my blog, you'll find, perhaps if you dig, my first ever Franqui Shore strips, which at that time I called the Franqui Shore Show. As you guys may be able to tell, she is quite inspired by the vintage aesthetic, and so I was going for something almost like Dick Van Dyke Show or Mary Tyler Moore Show. What I'm doing right now, I'm just gonna try to expedite this hair. I do a neat little trick with her hair there to give that what is it called, ombre feel to it. I'm probably saying that wrong. Fashionistas, please correct me in the comments. That's when the hair kind of has a gradient to it, and that is her natural hair color. Pressing the G button. Actually, let's go Shift G, get the gradient tool. Always like to do the radial gradient. Set it to, let's go, actually, sorry. We're gonna do the bucket. Hey, this is live, folks. I ain't gonna edit that out. Now, if only, yeah, okay, here we go. That's our darkest tone right here. Get that going. Now I do the radial gradient tool and get this going over here. And then boom. Recently I started adding the swatches to my arsenal. Before I used to just put in a separate layer with my pre-made palette. However, I decided to change up that little scene there. Oops. And I find that I do things a little quicker. The reason why I do things like this too, see me kind of going back in there. You never know when happy little accidents might come through. Alright, I'm going to merge that down. I like to normally work on just a couple of layers there. Don't like to go too crazy, but seems like I always like to keep it a little simpler than normal. But I always do, however, start out with a new layer before I go adding in detail. Come on, thank you. And then we're gonna go here. Oh yeah, here goes that switch I was telling you all about. Paint release set to 30. Now I get this little ditty from my love of Adam Hughes. He always draws character's kind of flush. Don't know why I always like that little accent, but I do. So in homage to him, I replicate it every now and then. Sometimes to a very recognizable way. And sometimes I push it back, but I normally start with it. See me doing is putting in a little lighter tones in the face. That is from the actual zones. Normally it's about a yellowish tone up here, redder here, and if you got a male, that's where you do like the blue because of the facial hair. What I do is mimic this color here, put it around this area. Has to do with the blood in the flesh. More powerful brush there. Let's go and flip this canvas. Gotta get into a better habit. Flip it more often. Come on, Nelson. Get your mind right, son. Let's see what's next. Okay, let's go ahead and give her a nice. Let's practice here a little better. No, let's go over here and give her a deeper red. Right around there. Flatten that layer up. Do a little makeup on her. Quick and dirty. Look at it. Look at it. Quick and dirty. Now, let's go. There we go, that's looking better. Erase just so slightly around here. It doesn't look too harsh. Let's see. Mess around with the fill. Yeah, that looks good. Boom. Down. Flip that sucker again. Actually, let's go. Do it right. Let's get that cartoony eyeball color. Now, the reason also too why it's taking me so long to get her comic up and running is that, well, number one, I gotta make sure my skill is up enough to where I can spit out these things, and number two, gotta make sure I know what style I want to put her in, aesthetically that is. If you happen to go back into the vault on my blog there, you see Franqui was a little bit different back in the day. You know, her stories to me is just a little bit too important just to slap it together, like some folks like to give advice on. Just go ahead and do something. So what I did is kind of put her to the side for a little bit, focused on doing some other stuff. But she keeps coming. She keeps coming around. She doesn't want me to let her go. So, I oblige. Every time I draw something or someone different or decide to do another story, it seems like she comes knocking at my brain pan there and says, "Hey, don't forget about me, sucker." Alright. Oops. Oh, I can't be humming that now. No, thank you. I don't want the House of Mario coming after me, you know what I mean. We got left 11 minutes. Oh, snap. Alright, let's see. Going to the shadow area. Now, a little side diddly here. Sometimes I like to do the layer option of multiply. I'm recently learning too that sometimes a darkened layer looks nice. So we're messing around with that as well. Let's go ahead, let's do, actually, let's go ahead and monkey around with that. Now what I find is I like the ability that the darkened layer option gives you to add on to it without it deviating too badly. Now what I mean by that is with the multiply layer you're constantly adding to, and so it'll get darker and not much of an even tone can be added on. Because once you slap down that extra layer there, it's going to get real crazy looking, almost to the point of black, and I do not want that. So for some of those times I do this every darken layer. 9 minutes. Oh snap. Get Franquy's signature big eyes. shadows here. Don't be afraid to go dark. Look at that. Flip the script. Now in highlights, I like to kind of go between using the screen option and the overlay. Today we'll go with screen. It's kind of a classic style of doing it for me anyways. I think I got that from comic book how to cover. Color dodge. Who doesn't like a little color dodge, huh? I know Ross Tran likes it. Alright, let's go back to the brush. I got 5 more minutes left. Oh no. Let's go a little red. No more red. See how that goes. What am I doing, yo? No idea. No idea. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta wing it. Wrong layer, wrong layer. Right there, let's go. Times are running out. Look at it. 2 more minutes. Oh, snap. You know, for a show called Slow Jams, it sure is hectic. Alright. Just going to darken that just a little bit. Get a little quasi inking in. got the little layer lock on here. It's already set to multiply, so let's go ahead and color these lines. See what's up. Switch it up a little bit right here. Let's go like that. Switch it over to the mask button. "40 seconds left on the clock. Will he be able to do it?" Probably not. Bang. That's just how it goes in the Wild Wild West. Yeah, got a little far. Not too bad. 25 minutes. But next time we'll get even better. Alright, folks. Until next time, I've been Nelson Carrasquillo, and peace be with you all.